welcome. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. Today's practice, I was in the mood to share a more grounding and restorative, recharging practice. So we're going to slow things down, and we're going to use this opportunity just to bring energy back to me, back to you. So sit up tall, take your shoulders back. Let's get started. As we get started, bring your left hand onto your chest, bring your right hand onto your left hand. And this posture is a very grounding type of touch. And you want to use your fingertips just to almost send a signal back to your body, back to yourself, that you're going to use this moment and this time to just nurture and recharge and reconnect to the light that is inside of you. Take a breath into your hands. Exhale through your mouth. And as you exhale, you want to allow the body to kind of really be supported by the earth. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Okay. Bring your hands to prayer pose. As we bring the hands to prayer pose, we're making a symbolic or physical connection to the heart space. And one of the things that we recognize and understand through this practice is the heart's energy is infinite. And we want to use the practice as a way of connecting to that infinite light, that infinite source. And we want to become aware of the things that are taking from that light unnecessarily. But equally, we want to be aware of the things that feed the light necessarily. And we want to do more of the things that feed the light. We're going to chant Om one time. Take a deep inhale. Bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Lift your head. Open your eyes. Okay, just for a moment, just shake out the legs. Let's just get the energy, the blood moving just a little bit. Okay, we're going to start out with Sukhasana, just a cross-legged seated position. If your knees are higher than your hips, you can sit up on a block, pillow, bolster, books. It doesn't matter, just so that you're elevated and you have some comfort within the hip joint. On your fingertips, open through the heart. And throughout this practice, you'll hear me say Ujjayi breath. And what we mean by that is the lips are closed and there's kind of the sound that you would make like when you're blowing frost on a window on a cold winter's day. It's the same sound breathing in and out through the nose. Okay, let's try it. Perfect. I mean, mine was perfect. I assume yours was too. Okay, we're going to do a little twist. Take the left hand to the right knee. Take the right hand behind you on fingertips. And we're going to use the arms to open through the chest. As we open through the chest, you're going to go back to the breath. You hear me say it back and forth. I won't be able to breathe with you because I'm also talking. And it's very hard to talk and breathe continuously at the same time or not breathe. Whatever the case is. I have to figure out the logic on that. So keep your lips closed, open through the heart, and just start to explore the breath. And for every inhale, try to create more vertical lift. And this shouldn't be a stressful energy. You want to use just enough strength to get you keep you in the form, get you in the form, sustain the form. But also there's a sense of lightness to it. In yoga, we say stira sukham. So there's a stability, but there's also like a sweetness to it. Turn your gaze over the left shoulder. And as you take the gaze over the left shoulder, see if you can draw that right shoulder a little further back. So you'll feel the shoulder blade move into the back of your heart, and it'll also help to support the heart. Couple more full breaths. Good, come back to center. Okay. Shake out the legs. Okay. And then again, come into a cross-legged seated position. And you can use your hands on the floor, either behind you to get the chest open or to the sides. And we can take the right hand to the left knee, take the left hand to the floor behind you. And then again, we're using the stability or the connection of the hands on the knee, the fingertips on the floor, to go up through the spine. And then as soon as we get the form, that's when we tap into the breath. And the breath is our indicator whether we are staying sweet. You know, we can have all the form in the world and all the stability, but if we cut off the one thing that gives us life energy, then there's really no point. So you're always looking for that balance to stay strong, to be stable, but also to be in peace, to be light in heart. Turn the gaze over the right shoulder. See, now instinctively I just walked my left hand a little bit further around the body, so I get a little bit more twist. Take the left shoulder back. Beautiful. Come back to center. Check out the legs. Do a couple more variations of Sukhasana. Cool. Okay, cross-legged seated position. This time, we're going to keep the front of the body lifted, but we're going to walk forward on fingertips. So as we walk forward on fingertips, you want to use the support or the power and the strength of the arms to keep you light and spacious through the chest. And for me, I can feel this just on the right side, just above my hips. We call it the low back, but it's kind of low back, but inside the hip. I can feel those muscles are tight, so I just pause. And I use the breath, I send the breath there. And remember, the breath is carrying a message. The breath is carrying a message of lightness, of space, of even freedom, let's call it. And I want to send that message to my body. And then when the body receives the message, it will release grip. And that doesn't mean that it kind of relaxes, because sometimes it's not relaxed, it's just opening. Yeah, right there. And then keeping my chest open, I was able to go a little bit further in. We can keep the body low, facing the ground. Then we're going to walk the torso over the right knee. As we walk the torso over the right knee, I'm even shifting my belly to the right, so that from my belly all the way to my shoulders, I'm facing the floor as best I can, evenly on both sides. Now this one is a really nice stretch in the quadratus lumborum, and that's the muscles in the low back that go from the hip to the lower ribs, and they connect to the side of your spine. So for every breath, I'm sending the heart forward, but sending the outer left hip wide and back. Beautiful. Let's take it to the other side. Walk it around to the left. Oh, does it go to the left? Yeah, that right lower back is pretty tight. So just pause right where my body wants to grip to stop me. I'll stop there because I want to honor that. I just settle. In this kind of practice, you want to use time as one of your tools for opening. It's an interesting statement at this point in time. Wow, it feels good. And what I'm doing is I'm making very subtle movements. I'm staying supported, but I'm making very subtle movements, drawing the lower belly to the left, slightly lowering the outer right rib cage towards the floor, but staying open through the heart. Oh, there's the opening right there. Good, come back to center. Whoa, shake out the legs. Okay. And I will stay facing, no, I'm going to turn on my mat. Okay. So we're going to do Janu Sirsasana. We've done this in many of the videos. Right leg straight forward, left knee open. So we're going to, as we stretch the muscle tissue, we want the bones aligned. So we want the toes straight up and down, inner and outer edge of the knee straight up and down, inner and outer edges of the thigh straight up and down. And this left knee can open to whatever space it will open and still stay down. If it starts to rise, bring it forward. If you have a really hard time, you can sit on a bolster. I have a strap here. As an example, you can use a strap around your foot. For this variation, you can even grab your ankle. It's not a problem. For this variation, I'm gonna grab hold of my foot, and we're gonna keep the arms long and straight, but we're just gonna go up, okay? So as we go up, I wanna just use the power of my legs to help open through the chest. And this using the power of the legs, that's the grounding energy. The biggest parts of your body, when they're supported by the earth or they're connected to the earth, it sends a signal to your nervous system, hey, it's okay, I'm safe, I'm strong, I'm stable. That's the energy that actually gives us energy. That's the signal. So I keep open through the heart, close my lips, deepen my breath. On the next exhale, we'll fold in. And then as we fold in, you want to continue to keep that front body space, the front body lightness. And I'm using just enough pressure, my hands against the foot, to generate that lightness. So again, that balance between stability and sweetness. Sweetness is not a passive energy. Somebody who is sweet in heart, they have a very strong heart. They don't fall off their center so easily. And when they do, they're quick to come back. Lips closed, very sweet breath. And if you're close, you can bring the head onto the leg, keeping the arms supporting, keeping the legs active. You can even bring the head to the floor. I'm not going to touch mine because I have the mic on and it'll make a loud sound. But I could do it if I wanted to. Oh, it feels good. Inhale to your eyes. Whoa, that feels awesome. Okay, shake out the legs, move them around. All right, let's do the other side. Left leg forward. We'll open the right knee to the right. And as we open the right knee to the right, what I'm doing is I'm using my hands to support me so that I can get my spine lifted, but my sitting bones settled, my hips settled, my butt settled. On your fingertips, turn the upper body forward. We're going to walk forward, take hold of the leg, and then again just go up through the heart. And just forgot to mention this, in any of these poses, if you feel like, wow, I want to hang out here a little bit longer, just hit pause. It's not a problem. Usually when I'm doing workshops or restorative classes like this, I'm using a timer just to make sure that both sides are even. But today, I actually didn't want to be bound by time. I wanted to just kind of dial in, settle, listen to my body, and kind of just feel what I need. That's kind of a powerful statement. Oh yeah, keep the lift. Let's give it one more full breath. And fold in. And then again, just like on the other side, I'm going to use the connection. I use my fingertips right into the center of the foot, and I create a little bit of energy in my foot pushing into fingertips, fingertips resisting foot. And I use that to create lift, buoyancy. I sometimes visualize it like a parachute, like a parachute is not, I guess, technically falling, it's lowering, but it has support in its lowering. It's not a free fall. And in restorative practices, that's what you want to cultivate. You want to cultivate the grounding without the collapse. So again, back to that sthira sukham, the stability, the lightness, the freedom, the joy. You can release the head onto the leg. This side I can do it because there's no mic on the left side. Bring my head to the floor. As I bring the head to whatever point, I move my head around because I like to make sure that the neck is free and that I'm not over-efforting through the arms. Inhale to rise. Whoa. Stretch the legs out. Ooh. Okay. Oh. All right. I'm going to turn to face you. And for this one, I'm going to use a strap. You can use it earlier. I had a kind of just a small towel or something. We're going to go into Gomukhasana. And so traditional Gomukhasana, you just get the right knee over the left knee. And for some of you guys, if this is a really big challenge, you can just bring the foot to whatever point it's going. This is not, you never want to push the knee into any position. So I lift my hips up, then I cross the knee, and then I put the hips down square. All right, so I'm just looking for knee over knee as best as you can. If you're not able to achieve that, if you sit up a little bit, you'll get a little bit closer, okay? And I activate the feet so that they create almost like energetic locks to the floor so that they stay put. And I'm going to take this strap. My shoulders are pretty tight, I had a shoulder surgery from years and years and years ago. Yeah, it's a long story. Yeah, okay. Anyway, take the strap, drop it down the back. I'm going to take the left hand to the back and grab the strap. Now this one, we're going to be here for a while. So you want to have, I actually don't need a strap on this side, but I use the strap because I want to be able to hang out for a period of time without stressing the body. If the body starts to stress, the mind will start to stress. Energy's going out. That is not restoring. Okay, that's aggravating. It's irritating. So open the heart, and then I'm going to stay in the pose. The tricep, this is the tricep. This part of the arm we want pointing forward, and the elbow pointing up as best as you can. Okay, if you're really tight in the shoulders and you're not used to this pose, and that will not be immediately available to you, and that's totally cool. Over time, after you watch my video a couple hundred times, it's going to come, don't worry. Minimum 200 times. Open through the chest. Sweet, beautiful breath. What I see in classes a lot is that when students are trying to get the lift of the elbow, to get the feeling, they drop the head. It's like when you're in a race and you're trying to go faster, you lean forward. You don't go faster. Keep the throat open. Yeah, dropping the head doesn't make you go deeper. It just makes you look sleepy. Okay, we're going to keep hold of the strap or the hands if you're gifted like that, and then we're going to fold forward. Okay. If this is pretty intense, you can back off a little bit. Again, we're trying to hold form through time. We want to sustain the integrity of the pose without stressing the nervous system. Go back to the breath. Keep the heart open. Oh, see that little cue allowed me to go deeper. Still in tune with the breath. On the next inhale, rise. Okay, release the arms, nice and slow. Okay. And then stretch the legs forward. We'll do the second side, then we're going to come back to the first side and we're going to do a variation, okay? So this one, we're going to cross the left knee over the right knee. And then as I start to go in, I just lift my hips up, get the knees on top of each other. And you'll see like I shift my hips to the right and then lower them. Just making sure that my hips are in balance with the legs, okay? Good. And then if you're struggling, again, you can sit on something. We're going to take the strap in the left hand, drop it down the back by bending the elbow, and take the right hand around and take hold of the strap. Once you have the strap, open through the heart. Wow. So this one, when I had the shoulder surgery, limited my rotation, my range of motion in the right arm, especially in this movement. It's really intense. And right at the place where it's most intense, I can feel it's super weak. Like I can't put any pull on it. So I just hang out there, and instead I go to the breath. For those of you who are curious, I dislocated my shoulder jumping from a building into a pool of water. Yes, I know, it was not a smart thing to do. I was like 19 at that age. Yeah, testicles are big, brain is small. And fold forward. I hope you're not watching this with your children. Keep the heart open. So I can feel the shoulder in my right shoulder. I can feel it trembling where it's weak. And so when it's weak, what it's wanting to do is shift into some kind of position where it's strong. But that in doing that, it wants to move out of alignment, and that can actually cause an injury. So I just stay right where it's weak and I let it get strong. Keep the heart open, keep the breath smooth. Oh, there it goes. And rise. Oh. Release the arms. So even that one, you see it comes out really slow because there's really no strength in that plane. All right, stretch the legs forward. Whoa. Okay. And then we're going to go to the first side again, which is right over left. Okay. And this one I really like because it stretches out some of the IT band, but also the tensor fascia, which is the upper part of the IT band that connects to the hip, outer hip. And the muscle is pretty... it's hard to stretch, actually, and this is one of the ways that I found to stretch it. So we're, again, knee over knee, and I'm going to take the right hand, and I'm going to put it to the front of the bottom knee, but kind of holding it from the outside, because I'm going to actually pull it to the right. Make a strong grip, take the left hand behind me on fingertips, and now, again, I'm going to use both hands to go up, and then I'm going to lean back. It's almost like that Sukhasana twist that we did earlier. And as I use the hand on the knee, I'm pulling to my right, but I'm also pressing the knee down. I'm creating some resistance. Now, it's crucial that you don't just drop into a back bend, but instead you're using this to go up and back. Right there at the edge. I tap into the breath. And I can feel it right at the edge. My body gets tense. It gets a little bit anxious. And when it gets anxious, everything gets tight. So I pause, I breathe, and I open. We talked about recharging. If your body is closed, the energy is stuck, can get stuck. Not only your internal energy, but also any energy that feeds you. It doesn't have the opportunity to enter you. You want to create moments in space and time where you consciously allow yourself to open. The universe is a very intelligent and beautiful energy that is all around us. Sunlight, air, and we don't want to close ourselves off to that which is good for any reason ever. Oh, feels good. All right, come back to center. And let's take it to the other side. We're just going to switch legs. In between, I just stretch out my legs just to kind of give the muscle tissues a little break. Okay. Cross the knees. Lift the hips. I lift my hips and just kind of center, settle down. All right. Now the left hand is going to go to the bottom knee, which is your right knee. Hold it from the front, kind of grip it from the kneecap, let's say. And then turning to the right, I use my fingertips for support, my right hand on for support. And then I'm going to go up with the heart and then lean back just slightly. Okay. Now it's also good to point out that, those of you who are super flexible, you may not feel anything. So don't always go for, feeling the stretch, because sometimes you can, overstretch a joint or something because you're just, you're super mobile. And don't go past the range of motion of the joint and just to feel the stretch. We can get addicted to that sometimes. Oh, feels really good. Now I went to a place, you heard me say it feels really good because I went, I felt a deep stretch, but I'm going to back off that just a little bit because I felt my breath get a little restricted in that space. And again, if the breath gets restricted, it's cutting my energy. It's not recharging, it's depleting. So I just want to, see, there now I'm in that space where it feels good, breath is fluid, and I'm getting goodness from the experience. Cool. Come back to center. Whoa. Stretch out the legs. Whoa. That one's intense. Yeah, I know. Cool. All right. Next one. I'm gonna turn on my mat. I'm gonna take the right knee and I'm just gonna hook it around the body. Actually, I'm gonna turn to face the other direction so you can actually see what my knee is doing. Okay. So I'm leaning to the left. I just hook the foot around, and see, I have the toenails facing the ground. Bottom of the foot is facing back. You don't want the toes are actually pointing towards the back of the mat. I'm going to lean on my forearm. I'm going to switch it around in a second so that I'm facing you when I'm talking. And then I stay leaning to the side. My left foot's just going to come on the inner knee. I'll show that from this angle. Okay, just leaning to the side. Cool. And the left foot, I'm just putting on the inside of the knee. The left forearm is on the floor. Right hand can stay on fingertips. And I'm turning my body to face you as I'm stretching down and out through the right knee. Okay, this is kind of like a passive, not passive, but kind of a more accessible version of Virasana. Those of you know the pose, thigh stretch. Now what's key is to keep the knee against the foot, keep that active and lengthening out. And just keep the breath flowing, keep elevated, stay supported. This is also a very sexy position to pose for Instagram for, I'm just saying. Or, when the summer comes, you're on the beach, throw this out. All right, let's come back to center. Okay, I'm going to flip it around so that we can stay eye to eye. All right, so I'm going to lean to the side, use my left hand to flip the left foot around. And the right foot's going to go to the inside of the left knee. And I'm just going to release the right knee to the floor. Okay, and if this is pretty intense, you can stay leaning to the side and you can stay elevated. So I'm going to bring my forearm to the ground because I want to get just a little bit more opening. Use the left hand for support, open through the chest. And on this side, it's not so intense, hardly at all, but I just stay, it's totally cool. And instead I go to the breath and make the breath super sweet, super calm. Feels good. Okay, come back to center. I use my hand to bring the foot forward, just to protect the knee. Okay, I'm going to flip around, facing this direction. For this one, I'm going to use a strap. You can use a towel. I know some of you, if you're super flexible and you can grab the foot easily, I can grab the foot easily, but we're going to stay for a period of time. And I want to use this strap as a support, but also to show how to use it. So I'm going to come on, let's come onto our backs, and you can watch me as we get set up. As we come onto our backs, I'm going to bend both knees, keep the left knee bent, and I'm going to lift the right leg towards it. I'm going to just put the strap around my right leg. Now what I like to do for this is I actually wrap my hand a couple of times around the strap, and then I hold it. And this gives me some power, some strength without stressing. Like I can hold it, and if I let my shoulder settle back, it puts some tension on it, and I'm not using a whole, I can even relax my hand, and it's gonna hold, okay? I have it through the balls of the feet, and I keep my feet active, stretch the leg. And I'm just gonna stay here for a few rounds of breath. And I'm finding this balance between keeping the toes pointing straight back, knee, leg straight, and also letting the shoulder settle back. The shoulder, it may not touch the floor. If your shoulder's back touch the floor, the foot's going to come closer to you, especially if you're holding the foot. Now you can stay here. It's totally cool. Keep the foot active. Keep the muscles in your leg toned. And again, breath, super sweet, always. Stage 2, we're going to stretch the left leg straight forward. And if you're struggling, if you feel like, whoa, I'm not going to be able to hold this for very much longer, you can bend that left knee back to where it was. And I forgot to mention, if you don't have a strap or a towel or anything, you can also just hold the leg with one or both hands. It's totally cool. And we're going to open the right leg to the right. And don't let it collapse. Like I'm going to a point where I can feel, wow, at this point, if I go any further, the left hip is going to want to lift, and I'm going to lose my balance to the right. So I just stay totally right here. I actually back off of that spot just a little bit, so I stay more grounded. Come back to center. Bend both knees and release the right foot to the floor. And then just take a pause on your back. Right about now, all of your physical energy is probably feeling pretty mellow. That's totally good. That's exactly where we want to be. Okay, let's switch legs. So I'm going to put the strap around my foot, or you have a towel, whatever. Use a belt as well. Right, watch this. So I just wrap it around my wrist, and then I feed the strap into the palm of my hand, and I'm also holding the other side. There you go, like that. Cool. And I can just totally relax my shoulder. Actually, I need to go a little bit higher. I don't want my arm bending on this at all. Showing you guys how to do it, I'm forgetting how to do it. I do it so naturally and fast, I don't really think about it. Now that I have to think about it, I'm fucking it up. So, there, that's good enough. I guess it's like tying shoes, you do it so often it becomes autonomic or automatic. And then stretch the right leg straight. I'm keeping my feet super active. I'm using gravity to help let my shoulders settle back when I'm not pulling it back. There's just there's like a firmness to it, not a gripping. The right hip is grounding. His leg is still active, even toes are active. And we're going to open the right leg to the right, nice and sweet. And again, we're looking for that point just before the right hip wants to pull. Now what helps sometimes is if you just take your right arm directly out to the side, you can give a little bit of counterweight to the left leg moving to the left, and you can go just a touch more to the left, not a lot. And then right at that edge, I have to back off right there, yeah. And that's where you go to the breath. Oh, that felt good. I just had an opening. Good, come back to center. Bend both knees and release the foot. Okay, good. Take a moment on your back. Close your eyes for a moment and just feel how the body has shifted from the beginning of the practice. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit more open, a little bit lighter. You'll feel it because when we don't know that feeling, it feels like, wow, like it's almost like a sleepy feeling or something, but it's just lightness. You're releasing tension, you're releasing stress, anxiety. All of that stuff stays in your muscle tissue and you want to flush it out. Okay, bring your knees in towards your chest. You just move it around a little bit. And then we're going to turn to the side and use the hands to come to a seated position. Okay. So come into Sukhasana. We started with this pose at the beginning of the practice. And then we're just going to do a little bit of neck opening, neck and shoulders. All right. Oftentimes, there's a lot of stress, energy in the body. You'll either hold it in your hips, sometimes in your hands, in your wrists and forearms, and oftentimes in your shoulders. There's just kind of a lifting energy, a tightening energy. So we want to open that. Take your fingertips out to the side. As we take the fingertips out to the side, we're going to lean the head to the right shoulder. And as I lean the head to the right shoulder, I actually want to stretch out more to that left hand on fingertips. I'm going to use both of my hands as support to open the chest, even as I lean to the right. Now stay here. I'm going to move my hands just to show you. But I want you to lift your Ujjayi breath. I want you to lift it all the way up into the upper region of your shoulders and neck. Okay? So that even as you're breathing, you're stretching those muscles. Good. Come back to center. Let's tilt it to the other side. Left ear just moves towards the left shoulder. And if it feels kind of sticky, don't worry about it. Just kind of go to the point where you can go. Take the right shoulder back a little bit more, kind of roll it back so the chest is open. Walk the hand out. And breathe into the upper part of the shoulder, chest, and neck. That feels good. Okay, good. Come back to center. I'll do one more, and then we'll do some breathing exercises. We're going to take, this is the clavicle, is a clavicle notch. You're going to take your fingers onto the bone. You're going to press into it. And I use my palms and stuff. I use it on the chest. So I'm actually moving not only the skin, but the muscles I'm pulling down. And you're going to feel these muscles in your throat, even the skin itself. They get a little tension on them, okay? And then lift your chin as if you're looking towards the sky. And you're just going to move your jaw up and down, side to side. And you can tilt the head a little to the right, even as it looks up. And you're going to pull down to the left. Oh, that feels really good. So when I release my jaw, I go a little bit more. I can feel it in the joint of the jaw, going all the way almost into my ear, in fact. You know, the eustachian tube is back there. Some of those you guys who have tinnitus, you know, that ringing in the air, those muscles are gripping the eustachian tubes and it just gets blocked. It's a great exercise for that. Also for vertigo, great. Just opening up the muscles here on the side of the neck. Let's do the other side. Fingers down, pull, lean to the left, and then look up. My jaw just had a nice release. Wow. I can feel it all the way into the back. I'm just moving my head around just a little bit, just to find the tight points, and then I create a little mobility there. You want the hands on the fingertips on the clavicle on the bone. Don't pull your chest down. My mind. Never mind. You get me. You know how I think. Come back to center. Okay, shake it out, shake it out. Smooth the legs out, shake out the legs as well. Okay, let's do some breathing exercises. So we're going to do pranayama. So as we do pranayama exercises, we're going to focus on increasing the length of the hold at the top of the breath. So the breath is in 4 parts. You inhale. There's the top part of the breath. We call it the hold. Then the exhale. Then there's the bottom part, the hold. Okay. Today we're going to inhale for 5. We're going to hold for 10 at the top. And then we're going to exhale for 10. There's no, at the bottom, we'll just do it, just a light pause. There's no hold at the bottom. Okay. It's just to acknowledge that is a space, that is a part of the breath. So we use a pause there. So again, it's just inhale for 5, hold at the top for 10, exhale for 10. Okay? And when you hold your breath, you increase pressure, and I've discussed this before, and this is why when children, they hold their breath, they get angry, their face gets red. It's this pressure rising. So in order to keep the pressure down, and we want to use the pressure to actually open up all of the vascular system, everything inside the chest and upper body. We're going to lower the chin down, call it Jalandhar Bandha. Okay? And we're going to keep the chin down even though the chest is rising. And what we're doing is we're creating an internal kind of balloon that is really strong, and that's creating a sense of vibrancy inside of us. Now, when we exhale, when we release the breath, I want you to feel immediately your system feels light. Okay, and there will be a tendency to kind of want to collapse and look all stoned and drunk in that position. Don't do that. Stay lifted and just tune into the lightness. I talk about this a lot in my classes. There's a word nirvana. Most of us know the word, but the word itself means to blow out. Okay, and imagine, and we can even try it right now. Everybody take a breath in. Hold at the top. A little bit more in. Hold at the top. You still have space, a little bit more in. Exhale through the mouth. You see that feeling? That's the feeling that you have when you've been holding something for so long and you let it go. Right? There's a release, there's a relief. Because the body knows and the system knows balance. The system knows, hey, when something goes too much in one direction, it has to counter itself. It has to find its balance, its even point. And so we do this naturally with the breath. And that space, when we release that feeling, we want to tap into that, and we're going to use that feeling to go into our meditation. Okay, let's get started. Sit up tall, take your shoulders back. And let's do chin mudra, index finger and thumb touching. Heart open. And I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to stay looking at the camera. Lower your chin down towards your chest. Lift your chest up towards your chin, Jalandhar Bandha. Okay. Now, you're going to keep the chin down the whole time until I ask you to lift it. And in this position, there should be no stress in the back, the hips, or the neck. If you need to sit up, you can even sit on a chair. It's not a problem. The chin lowering down, just get comfortable. The breath should be able to be smooth. There should be no tension or stress in the neck. Okay, let's do one cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through your mouth. Close your lips. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 10. 2, 1. Exhale from your nose for 10. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 10. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Two, 1. Inhale. 2, 1. Hold. 1. Exhale for 10. 2, 1. Inhale for 5. 1. Hold for 10. 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 10. 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5. 2, 1. Hold. 1. Exhale for 10. 3, 2, 1. On the inhale, lift your chin. Exhale from your mouth. Note the feeling. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And right from here, you go right into your meditation. And your meditation is you sitting in your own lightness, your own space. All of the energy that you have brought into your body through this practice, you let it surround you. You let it bathe you, just like if light was liquid and it's pouring all around you, on you, in you. This is the cleansing part of the practice. Come into Shavasana. Lay on your backs. Just unfold the arms if you want to put something underneath your thighs or knees like a pillow or something. This just allows your hips to settle and your back to relax. Just allow the body to settle. One of the most beautiful things that gives us energy is the earth. It literally supports us. It nurtures us. When you come onto your back and you lay in Shavasana, you make it your practice to soften into that support, to allow and open to that nurturing energy. You use your Shavasana as a deeper kind of meditation, where the form that is you, the idea that is you, it softens so much that it connects with that which is supporting it. So you literally become one with the earth. And as one with the earth, you are one with the universe, with spirit, with light. If you need a little bit longer Shavasana, just hit pause, and then you can hit play when you're ready to join us. Keep your body light, spacious. Just open the breath, stretch the breath, move the breath. Move your fingers and move your toes. Start to stretch your arms, stretch your legs. And with total sweetness, bring your knees in towards your chest. Give your legs a nice, easy, sweet, grateful hug. Turn to your side and just pause. And use your hands to lift you to a seated position. As you sit up, bring your left hand onto your chest. Bring your right hand onto your left hand. You're going to use your breath to lift you into your own hands, into your own touch. Take a breath and release through the mouth. Nice. Bring your hands to prayer pose. It's an absolute blessing to have this practice as a tool, as a way of recharging and reconnecting to the spirit and the light of the heart. Bow your head to your hearts, and we're going to carry that light into the mind. May it inform and lighten our thoughts. Bring it to your lips. And may we use that connection to inspire and to share with others around us and in the world. And bring them back to rest at the source at your heart. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And that felt really good in my body. I hope it felt good for you. Thank you again so much for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sending you so much love wherever you are. And don't forget to recharge your batteries daily. And make sure that you're nurturing yourself and you're feeding your heart. I love you. Bye-bye.